welcome in everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be having a special guest. I hope you'll enjoy this topic. If you could take this time to share out this live, that'd be great. We'll be with you shortly.
I woke up and realized the world's on fire. That's when I laughed and poured a glass of wine, just staring at the TV, trying to find some meaning, hoping that I'll wake up from this dream sometime tomorrow. Well, the night came and went, not a damn thing had changed. That's when a tear fell from my eye. I thought, what are we gonna do? What's this world coming to? How can we change it? And how do we recover? The world's on fire and only we can save us. It's a heavy load. The road is long and we only begun to fight. We can't give in, we can't give up. We must go boldly into the darkness and be the light.
Hello, everyone. Eddie's going to be just a few minutes late, but I figured while we're here, I'll give you a sneak peek of a new song that I made. It was a poem that I wrote back in 2009, and so I made it a song. So I figured I'd play it for you guys. It will be out tomorrow on the channel, so if you could go back and give it a like tomorrow when it comes out, that'd be great. But I'm going to play you the song.
Sipping wine through a straw, blowing bubbles into a glass, while spinning on a stool, having delusions of exceptional love making with an invented, flawless man. Wishing a flawless man existed in even the barest of forms, and hating myself for wishing at all. The woman to the right of me has a drug problem. The one to the left has an abusive boyfriend. I am in the middle, wondering why I'm even here. The jukebox plays faithfully by Journey again. I am not feeling it like I used to, with nothing to look forward to, and surrounding conversations depressing. I take another shot. Maybe I need a few more to drown out my nagging voice in my head. The sun is shining through the windows, laughter seeping through the door. My God, I say inside my head, play something happy, something more uplifting. I flip through the selections in the jukebox, with or without you. One shot of poison, I hate myself for loving you. Isn't anyone happy and singing about it anymore? Flip, 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 then I'll just play a Spanish song. It's a cheerful tune and everything sounds better in Spanish anyway. The jukebox plays a sunny melody that I don't good into a delusional state, dreaming of oozing happiness, laughter, and love. However, I'm broken without my other half, and I feel like time is getting hastily away. Here I am, wasting more precious moments, reflecting on misery and drowning in vodka. Who put this on? Between the truth and knowing everything I want. So I sit, spinning slowly on a stool, sipping my wine through a straw, blowing bubbles into my glass while my biggest fats, Lord have mercy, here it comes faithfully. Who the heck could journey again? Who the heck play journey again? Who the heck?
All right, Eddie came, so let's get this party started as soon as I find where the heck I could get this screen off of. I hope you guys liked my new song. Here we are. Hi, Eddie. Okay, maybe he just
My
stepped
bad.
away.
I'm sorry. Hi, Kristen. Give me 1 second.
Take your time. So yeah, guys, that was my new song. So it was great. Oh, you liked it? Thank you, Nina. And Fancy said it was fire. I appreciate it. Yeah. That was a, let me close the door.
That was nice. Hello, everybody in the chat. Tired Collective, Tired Collective Misfits. Nina, Fancy. How are everybody doing today?
Yeah. Hi, Yvonne. How are you?
Yvonne, how are you doing? I do apologize. I was talking to my daughter, so I apologize for that.
That's okay. I got to play my new song. So we did the opener and then I got my song. So that was, and you came in just like near the end. So I was like, yay.
Cool.
So yeah, that I've been taking my poems from back in the day that they're copyrighted because they're in a book. So I just take them and put them in song form. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Did I send you a
I
Facebook
think
page? I sent some Facebook pages to a few people. If you actually, yeah, I sent it through Messenger. If you go on the Facebook groups, you can promote your music on those pages that I sent.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna check it out. I didn't see that you sent me a messenger
I
besides
might
the
not
one
have though.
telling me about
I,
that it was that you were gonna be late, but you know, I'll check
right,
it out.
yeah.
Now, today, oh yes, I'm in it. Okay. I'm gonna have to check it out. So today I put together a video of everyone who gave me their paranormal story. I made it a little like skit, and I had played them way back when on my Sinister Sunday, but I put them all together, and we're gonna listen to all your guys, whoever is a subscriber and member, friend of the channel. I have their paranormal stories. So this is all people you know. Tired story is in there. Evie's story is in there. Danny's story. Our friend Diane. My daughter's story. Michigander Man's story is in there. Well, you never gave me an actual paranormal story. So yeah, Donna Cantor's story is in there. Yeah. So whoever gave me a paranormal story, it is in there. And so this is all, like I said, our friends and subscribers and family. All of them are these stories that you guys gave me. So yes, tired. Yours is in there. Scott's, yeah, everybody. So all these people, their stories are in there. Um, and we're gonna give them a listen because I know it's hard. Like sometimes you miss a Sinister Sunday, and some of them had two each in there of your stories. So this is gonna be fun, and Eddie's gonna set it up for you guys, and we're gonna watch it.
Yeah, give me a couple seconds. I forgot to set the TV for the boys so they can watch. What?
Take your time. Yeah, we want the boys to see it. These are good stories. They're your stories. They're your paranormal stories, so of course they're good.
Come on, where are we? Where are we? Where are we? Why did it not show up on here? Okay, so I'll have to go this route.
Listen, don't be silly, TV. I should be the first one you play every day.
No,
That darn smart TV isn't too smart.
yeah, it's so smart that it's stupid. And hello to Rosanna. I am sorry I did not acknowledge you. I didn't acknowledge anybody. I am like slow. Gee.
Yes, we have in here. Where's Robert today? I didn't even see him, I don't think, in the other chat. I hope he's well. We have Rosanna and Annie and Tired and Nina, Yvonne, Fancy, Susie, and
Yeah, I've been taking my
Natalie.
slacker twos today.
Yeah, Natalie and Rosanna, and who else is hiding in the shadows? More people, I'm sure. Um,
I
and
couldn't
Kyle is there. Hi,
maybe
Kyle.
Kyle. I can't call me a shadow. I could say who's hiding behind Ed. Fancy said I made you a song, Eddie. Check sooner or later. I'll do that. And you know what, Fancy? I'm gonna turn around and do the same thing
Hi,
for you.
Jason.
Hello, Jason. That reminds me, Fancy. I want to ask you something later. I'll message you later. I want to ask you a question. I'll message you later. It's not nothing bad. And this is my daughter.
Hi, Desi. How are you, sweetheart? Did you dye your hair two different colors?
No, their ears.
Their ears. They're adorable. I was like, what has she got going on there? That's something I would do if I could actually do it myself. Then yeah.
Actually, you know you could if you wanted to.
That's right. Well, I have the long hair, so I was thinking I wish I knew how to do highlights because back in the day I paid for them. They weren't as expensive as now, but I had these, they called peekaboo highlights. So
Uh-huh.
the highlights they did underneath your hair, so when you would like put your hair halfway up or in a ponytail, you would see them, these
Hmm.
stripes of like I had red, and it was so cool, but
Give me 1 second. I'll be right back because my daughter's leaving.
Okay. So as soon as Eddie comes back, we will have we'll play your guys' paranormal stories. We'll stop chitty chatting about hair. Annie, you use Suno, you said? I didn't get a chance to read your Annie was saying something about Suno too. Do you write music, Annie? Where was Annie's Okay, I missed it and I don't know. I didn't think it was that far back. Gosh darn. Ooh, and Nina, oh, you put out you put tired the Suno for them? Thank you so much. Okay, I missed it. Annie, you're gonna have to tell me again because I don't know where it went. I swear she wrote something about it. She said it was a great place to turn poems into songs. Oh, okay. Thank you, Tired. I knew I saw
Yes,
it
it
somewhere.
is. It really is. If you are, if you like to write poems and poetry, Suno is a good place, to put your poetry into music.
Yeah.
It don't.
Well, like I said, I used the other one because I paid for it before everybody started using these other things.
Mhm.
Um, and since I paid for it for the year, I use it. I use the
Right.
shit out of
Right.
it.
You see, me, I'm the opposite. I didn't have Suno. I have to give a huge shout out to PDX Paranormal Emmy because she's the one that turned me to Suno, and I'm gonna always have to give her a shout out for that because she knows I do music, but I do it on a program called Fruity Loops and Cubase, and so I was always doing my own music on that. And then I seen Suno. I'm like, well, shoot, all I gotta do is just write my lyrics in there, and then all of a sudden just arrange my music, and that's it.
Yeah,
Now,
it's easy.
and if you have Suno, and I think a lot of y'all noticed you can actually add your vocals now. You can
Oh
add
yeah,
your
well,
vocals.
if I could sing, that would be nice, but I can't. So that's why I like the other one too. It's the same thing as Suno. You
That
basically
man,
you put all your lyrics in and
right,
you tell it what kind of music you want and who you want to sing it, a woman or a male. And I
right.
go, okay, I want this song to sound like, Amy Winehouse's vibe,
Yeah,
with a
I'm getting ready
female
to do that.
singer and have fun. And it does it, and I'm like, good. Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm, I'm getting ready to do that. I'm gonna actually add my own vocals to it. So I was cool with that. I was like, oh, that'll work. Instead of having to buy that $34 version, because you can do
Yeah,
it on that too. But on that, you can collect the stems from that, and that's what I would like to do: collect the stems and put it to my Fruity Loops. But instead, I really don't have to do that now. I just add my vocals, and that's it.
yeah,
So I'm gonna give it a shot and see how it turns out, and see how close they at least get. Because I don't want my voice to be AI. I want my voice to be real.
right.
So I don't want no AI. But anybody out there, man, if you like to do music and you like to do
Yeah,
poetry, uh, get that Suno. Get it, and I guarantee you'll get addicted to it like me. I live on it. My wife almost kicks me out of the house almost every day because I'm on Suno. My
yeah.
music wasn't that bad.
Annie, that's great, Annie.
Oh yeah,
All
she said
right.
my poems to early 1980s. You know what? There's a lot of people that's using that going back to the 80s.
Yeah,
And I like the people that's using the 80s and combining it with today.
yeah.
That's a nice
Well,
flavor.
that's what it's funny because those poems I wrote like all the way from shoot before my kids were born. So I've been writing them from then all the way up until about maybe 2012. I think when my mother passed, I really stopped writing,
Hmm.
and I got busy and whatever. Too busy to write. So all my poems are from prior to 2012. So I'm just taking them all, but they're all about life, so they all fit.
Right. So, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this video started. I got it set
Let's
up.
go. I want to see the paranormal stories, guys.
Yeah, I hope everybody else is ready for this.
We're
So
ready.
I'm gonna share the screen here, and we're gonna go boom, just like that. Let me see something here. Let me check the audio real quick. Hold on 1 second, because I want to make sure that the audio is good too. Do that. Okay, I think the audio is gonna be good. Okay. All right. So
Okay, here we go.
here we go. I hope y'all ready. Need to make sure this is turned up loud enough, not too loud. Let me know if you need me to adjust the volume more.
As long as they could hear it, I'm fine. You guys let me know. These paranormal experiences came from members of the channel, subscribers, family, and even some personal ones. You guys told me your experiences. I listened, and now I'm going to share them. Let's get into it. Our first paranormal experience comes from Rob, better known by his channel name as Michiganderman. Rob loves the paranormal and has been investigating it for a while now. Rob has spirits in his house, but they're not always active. Were they always there and he didn't notice? Or were they spirits that followed him home? Rob states that his wife hears them in the home often when she's all alone. The most active spirit in the home is a little girl. Rob's wife hears her often. The little girl's spirit loves to run up the stairs, making her presence known. Rob has actually caught a glimpse of the little girl and says she's anything but scary. Rob's wife also states she has never caused any problems in the home. Rob's wife has actually caught the girl playing with their granddaughter's Barbie dolls. Rob states that he and his wife actually love having the little girl in the house because of her sweet, kind nature. Rob goes as far to say that he believes the little girl actually looks after his family and looks out for any trouble, as she can then alert them to it. To this day, it doesn't look like the little girl will be going anywhere. She's very happy haunting Rob's house. Our next story comes from one of our subscribers, known as Miss Donna Cantor on YouTube. Miss Donna stated that she is currently employed in an old VA hospital for the Army. Lots of strange happenings go on there, but she isn't allowed to film any as an employee. Recently, she was on a shift and was cleaning the seventh floor. Miss Donna was pulling her trusty cleaning cart behind her as she was making her rounds. Miss Donna got to one of the offices and parked her cart in front of it, and then she went in to clean the office. Miss Donna wasn't away from her cart long. She looked up from her cleaning and peered into the hallway to notice that her cart was missing. She hadn't heard the cart move, and no one else was on the floor with her. Miss Donna was thinking, how crazy, as she went into the hallway, looking around, not seeing the cleaning cart anywhere. Not only was her cart missing, but no one else was around. The seventh floor, which now only houses administrative offices, was once used for the Army's mental patients. Miss Donna searched around the entire seventh floor till she finally found her cleaning cart in a bathroom. This bathroom was on the opposite side of the seventh floor from where she parked it. Miss Donna can only describe it as crazy. Just crazy. Our next story, The Woman on the Stairs. Evie, one of our subscribers, tells us of a house where she grew up in. It was a modest home located in Australia. Evie, being only 8 years old at the time, never really thought about the experience as paranormal. Evie recalls having many fond memories of playing in this house. One day, she was playing in the foyer and got bored and decided she was going to head upstairs to her bedroom on the second floor. Evie gathered up her toys and went to ascend the staircase when she caught a glimpse of something. She lifted her head, and at the top of the stairs, staring down at her, was a very stern looking Scottish woman. This woman was wearing a long black dress with a white collar, and she spoke with a very thick Scottish accent. Evie can't remember what the woman said to her. However, she got the feeling like she was just always there. Fast forward to today, where more than 50 years have passed. Evie begins to realize, hey, none of my great grandparents or grandparents were Scottish. I actually think my mom and dad are fifth generation.
So Evie decided to do some research into her bloodline. That's when she discovered the woman on the stairs was her great grandmother's grandmother on her father's side. Evie says she still feels like she visits her today, but she never saw her again like that day when she was 8. Our next story is
Oh, pause 1 second.
on the wall.
So
One of our subscribers.
we got 3 stories in. So far you guys liking this, and so we heard um Michigan Demands, Donna's, and now Evie's. And so those are actual, they're actual stories.
Right.
And like
And they're
Evie's
good
happened when she
stories
was
too.
8. She remembers it to this day.
They're good stories too, from what I hear.
Yeah.
Um, I want to give a shout out to Paranormal Poet.
Hi,
I know
Paranormal Poet.
I know of him through Cassie. He does paranormal storytelling as well. So
Oh, cool. I see you're doing Saturday spookies. I'm gonna have to check it out. I do Friday night scary stories. And then I do a sinister Sunday, but that's real stuff, like supposedly real haunts and stuff. So
right, and I've checked
um
out the show. So it's he's pretty good. He really is. I've checked him out a few times. So anyway, that's enough about me.
yes,
But
okay, let's get to the next story here. This one's boomers.
yep, this is Boomer D.
Yeah.
Subscribers, Boomer has had paranormal experiences happening around him his whole life. People around him are oblivious to the paranormal happenings. It's always nice though when someone else sees it because now you know it actually happened. Boomer was getting ready to go to an appointment at the VA office. The day started out normal and uneventful as Boomer made his way to the office. While in the waiting room, waiting to be called into the office, nothing seemed to be out of the norm. The doctor came out and called Boomer into the office. Boomer gets up and walks through the open door, with the doctor following behind. This office is particularly small. Boomer recalls smaller than his own bedroom. As he walks through the door, he notices straight ahead of him is a wall. The wall protrudes out just a bit, and on that wall is a clock. Boomer doesn't think anything of it, and he takes a seat on the right as the doctor goes to the left to sit behind his desk. Before the doctor could even make it to his seat, and Boomer got comfortable in his, there was a noise. What was the noise? The clock had taken flight off the wall and landed 3.5 feet from the wall, face up, right at Boomer's feet. The doctor shrugs, walks back around, picks up the clock, and puts it on the shelf. However, Boomer was a bit taken back. The doctor, seeing his reaction, says, that's strange. I just had changed the time on that clock and rehung it yesterday. Boomer looks over to the wall and realizes that the nail that held the clock in place was still undisturbed in the wall.
He got screwed.
It really looked to me like someone hit it hard from behind, which made it fly off the nail, Boomer recalls. Noticing the doctor's nonchalant approach, Boomer says to the doc, "Hey, it looks like that was something paranormal to me." The doctor just shrugged it off again and went on to the consultation. Boomer to this day believes something or someone threw that clock at him. This story is called Nana Comes to Visit, and it's courtesy of my daughter. Let's see what happens. People say that babies and children see ghosts more readily than we do, and they just might be right. My grandson has talked to something that wasn't there from a super early age. His babbles and googles and gagas to the ceiling where there was nothing. But what started out as harmless, like this clip here, where he woke up 3 in the morning and was giggling and talking to someone who no one else could see, it has now escalated into something more. Recently, my daughter has observed my grandson doing this same thing, but on a much bigger scale. And now that he could speak, my daughter actually was taken aback. My mother, who passed away in 2012, was the only one that the family called Nana. My mother loved babies and was also very close with my daughter, so it wouldn't be a far stretch that Nana would go to visit. A few weeks ago, my daughter laid my grandson down for his bedtime. He had his bottle and he usually goes straight to bed, so she left the room. However, a few moments later, he was having a full blown conversation, so my daughter just popped her head in to see what was going on. When she looked into the room, my grandson was full on talking to someone who wasn't there, and then he called her Nana. My daughter couldn't believe what she was hearing, and then he started rubbing something that wasn't there. He lay down and continued rubbing. The next day, my daughter and her husband decided that they would show him pictures of the grandmas who passed to see if they would get any reaction from him. They started off by showing him a picture of my father's mother, who he had no reaction to. Then they showed him a picture of his father's great aunt who recently passed. He also had no reaction. But then my daughter brought up a picture of my mother on her phone, and all of a sudden, he sat there rubbing the phone just like he did when he was in the room. My daughter now believes that my mother is visiting from beyond the grave and putting the child to sleep when he's being unruly. So, what do you think? Is it my mother visiting from beyond the grave, or is something more sinister going on? My mother may not be the only grandparent visiting that house. My son in law's father died 3 years ago, and they have some of his stuff in the house, including his favorite pants. They've been folded nicely on the top shelf of the closet since he passed. Her husband went into the closet and asked her, "Where's my father's pants? They're not up on the top shelf anymore." My daughter says, "How should I know? I can't even reach that shelf." "Well, they didn't just get up and walk away," her husband says. But that just may be the case. 3 weeks later, her husband goes into the broom closet in the living room, and what's on the shelf? His father's pants. So if you're ever feeling alone, don't dismay. One of your deceased relatives may be spying on you while you're changing from your closet. Oh, these
You can
eyes
pause for a second.
Sheila Marie.
Christina, you silly as hell.
Yeah, I figured I'd stick that part in because hey, he was going in the closet and taking stuff, so you never know. But yeah, that's actual story from my personal story from, of course, my daughter about my grandson and what goes on in her house.
You have
So
pants
yeah.
on the running man.
Yes. I
Oh,
know
God.
ghosts be watching me. Yeah.
But I will say one thing: your mom was pretty.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
She was pretty,
Yep.
and man, she's in a way better place. But you know what? She is watching you.
Oh yeah. I know she was. I knew from when he was a baby. The first time I went there, he was fresh out of the NICU, and they put him in the bouncy seat on the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen table on the
Mm-hmm.
kitchen island, and he was fine, and all of a sudden he just starts looking and babbling up to the ceiling, and I said, you know I said to my daughter, um he's not paying no never mind to us. He's not really old enough to keep himself busy, and at
Right.
that young age, really, I mean, he was 4 months, but he was only out of the NICU for 3 weeks.
Right.
So it literally was like he was just born because they keep them until they're when they would have came out of you.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, so like, and he's literally having a full blown babbling conversation with somebody on the ceiling, and I'm like, okay, you know. So I knew from them probably my mother was, you know, but his
Right.
her husband's great aunt had died um a she saw him once. She saw the baby once and then she passed away. So we thought maybe, it was her, visiting. But
Right.
hi, Michelle. But now that when he can talk and they showed him all the pictures of the different deceased people, he recognized like my mother. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
Patrazi. So, alrighty, next story is
Yes.
from these eyes, Sheila, I believe.
Okay. And hello, Patrazi and Michelle. Hello to both of
Michelle,
you.
yes,
One
Michelle
of our
Petrov.
subscribers. Sheila had just put her 4-year-old to bed and sat on the couch after a long day. Her eyes, tired and heavy, slowly shut. It seemed to be only a moment, but then Sheila got a weird feeling and opened her eyes. She struggled to focus for a moment and looked towards her daughter's room. As everything came into focus, Sheila became fixated on these red eyes staring at her from within her daughter's dark room. Sheila said naturally she just thought it was her 4-year-old who had gotten out of bed. So she yells to her daughter, "Hey, Nikki, go back to sleep." However, she quickly realized that it wasn't Nikki when the eyes started moving closer and seemingly started to rise towards the ceiling. Sheila knew instantly that a 4-year-old, even standing on her bed, could not be that tall. Sheila watched the eyes, trying to process exactly what she was seeing. Then these eyes start floating towards her, coming out of her daughter's bedroom and into the light. Sheila is terrified as it's getting closer to her, and still she can't process what exactly she's seeing. Sheila described it as a big, black, transparent mass, and as it floated out of the darkness, she could see that it had no legs or feet, but you could tell it was like a half silhouette of a person. Sheila, still transfixed on this figure with the red eyes, watched in horror as it disappeared into thin air. Her daughter Nikki is now 38, and till this day, Sheila still thinks about the red eyed floating mass. "I know what I saw," Sheila says, "and I will never forget it." This next story, The Kitchen Gestapo, comes from Scott, one of our subscribers. Scott recalls his teenage years in a modest Florida home where he lived with his parents. Scott says, "I had chores like everyone else, and that day my chore was to do the dishes." Scott still remembers, 35 years after the fact, one chore he was made to do on one particular day. It wasn't the chore itself that was jarring, it was what happened during it that he'll never forget. It was Scott's turn to do the dishes that day. Scott never minded doing them. He went over to the sink, turned on the water, and started soaping up the sponge. Scott had only just begun his chore when he was stricken with a feeling. He felt like someone was coming up behind him. Scott said it was weird because he remembered thinking to himself he didn't hear any footsteps. He could feel this person getting closer and closer to him, and then they stopped about a foot away. Scott could feel the hairs on the back of his neck stand up, and then it got cold, really cold. It was sunny and 70 degrees that day in Florida, yet Scott had such a chill he couldn't explain. Scott got up the courage to turn around. only to see that there was no one there, but he can feel them staring at him. He dropped everything and ran out the front door. To this day, Scott doesn't know who or what was watching him do the dishes that day, but that feeling of watchful eyes on him, he'll never forget. The unexpected visitor comes from Danny chasing Bones inspectors. Danny lived in a home in Canada with his parents and siblings. He was 7 years old, and he recalls his mother was in bed sleeping and his father was out to work when there was a knock at the door. Danny ran over to answer it and see who it was. Danny opened the door to find a very well-dressed gentleman with a scruffy beard standing there. The gentleman asked if Danny's mother was at home. Danny said his mother was asleep, and the gentleman asked if he could come in and visit for a while. Danny let the gentleman in and led him to the kitchen, where they both sat. The gentleman lit up a cigar and started smoking it. They chatted for a while, and when the gentleman was just about done with his cigar, he told Danny he had to go, that he just wanted to check up on the family. When Danny's mother woke up, she smelled smoke. She ran over to Danny and asked, "Who's smoking in the house?" Danny explained to his mother that a gentleman came to visit while she was asleep and he had a cigar. When his mother looked in the ashtray, she gasped. It was like she saw a ghost. She asked her son to describe what the man looked like. Danny described the man and looked at his mother's face, who seemed to be in a little bit of shock. He asked her, "What's wrong?" His mother explained that the cigar in the ashtray was a red owl and that they hadn't made that brand in over 20 years. The gentleman that Danny described was his mother's uncle. Her uncle had been deceased for over 25 years, and she just kept looking in the ashtray saying, "My gosh, I can't believe how fresh the cigar is." All these years, and Danny has never forgotten his unexpected visitor. The extra guest comes from Kathy.
Wow, that happened to Danny when he was 7.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, right? And the fact about the cigar and the mother flipping out because she's like, "What the freak?" You know, I mean, she's like, "They
Yeah.
stopped making it 20 years ago. How's it so fresh?" Like, amazing. That they can actually leave stuff behind too, which is
Right.
crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
he wanted to see obviously his his niece,
Right.
um but so he must have left it knowing like she'd see it and understand it was him, so pretty cool.
Hello, Andrew. So glad that you could make it and join us.
Yeah,
For our
hi Andrew, and no problem.
One
Paranormal
of our
Killer.
channel members. Kathy used to travel quite a bit with her previous job, driving across the Providence and staying in different hotels a few times a year. One hotel visit will stick in her mind forever. She was staying in a familiar city, but had never stayed in this particular hotel before. It was a high-rise hotel in a busy part of town. From the moment she walked into her hotel room, she felt uncomfortable. It was cold and unwelcoming. She put her suitcase down, walked over to the window, and tried to shake off the vibe as she looked out across the city, but the feeling just wouldn't leave. Kathy just chalked it up to the drive and being hungry, so she decided to head out and meet up with some colleagues and get dinner. After an enjoyable night out on the town, Kathy decided it was late and she headed back to her hotel. Kathy made her way through the hotel halls and decided when she got to her room she would go straight to bed. Kathy lay awake in bed for a while when she suddenly felt something jump up onto the bed and walk from the foot of the bed up to her. She could feel every footstep as whatever this was made its way up the bed. A moment later, she felt a pressure across her upper chest and throat, as if whatever it was had laid down. It became increasingly difficult for Kathy to breathe, but she couldn't see anything in the room. She shut her eyes and kept repeating to herself, "This is not happening. I must be dreaming." Kathy remembers thinking that if she could just convince herself that it wasn't real, then it would stop. Then, as sudden as it happened, it was just gone. The weight on her chest and throat had lifted, and the heaviness in the room had disappeared. Kathy went from being afraid to feeling calm. It was so very strange, and she never had anything happen like that again. Kathy doesn't know what it was, but she does know she will never stay in that room or hotel ever again. Our next
Well,
story,
pause
The
1 second.
Abandoned Community, comes from one.
So, funny enough, my son has a story kind of similar to that too. Um, my son went with his father on a work trip, and so they stayed at a hotel, and there was two twin beds. So my son had one, his father had one. Um,
Mhm.
and my son laying down, but semi asleep, not entirely asleep yet.
Right.
And he like had that feeling like someone's watching you, and he opens his eyes to see this, I don't know, mist or something on top of him, like, and the mist just started like pressing on his like neck area, right? And
Right.
he couldn't scream, he couldn't do anything, and he was like flipping out, because you don't know. And then as soon as it like as soon as, I don't know, maybe it realized he was super in a panic, it disappeared. Um yeah, he was like, no, never staying in that place again.
This was your son?
Yeah.
Has he ever
So
had any other experiences after that?
n- not that, no. That was something that was in that hotel. I mean, he could see things and hear things,
Hmm.
like, but nothing that ever touched him or like that. And he said, I had like paralysis. I couldn't move.
Right.
So yeah.
Wow. What do you guys think of these stories so far? Um, One of them, I think it was Michelle, that she said these are great stories.
Yeah.
These are good, really good stories.
Christina, I've been in some haunted motels while trucking. Was broke down 2 different times. Oh, Andrew.
You should tell the stories of those. Send the stories in, Andrew, to Christina, and she'll read them off.
Oh yeah. I'll put them in my Sinister Sundays.
Yeah, she'll definitely do that. As
Oh
a matter
yeah,
of
like a lot of these stories, like the one from Donna Cantor, she wrote
Mhm.
it in your chat, and I was like, "Hey, can I use your story?"
Right, right.
Michigan man's story too was
Yeah,
in your chat. Like they'll write their stories in the chats, and I'll be
uh-huh.
like, "Oh, I'm gonna use that."
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, you guys, every Sunday she has Sinister Sunday. So go
Yeah.
by and listen to those stories that she got.
Yep.
They're really,
I
really
just finished the 10 stories about the Appalachian cryptids. So those were interesting stories. So there was 10 episodes, 10 Sundays of the
mm,
Appalachian cryptids. Those were cool.
wow. So just saying. And by the way, I'm hoping that you guys hit that like button. You did hit that like button. Let's see. Yeah, there's a few people that hit that like button. So there we go. And share us out if you can.
Oh, thank you, Paranormal Poet. I was
Yeah,
in the
and
same
he
room
tells some
twice
good
for two
stories
days.
too. I do recommend Paranormal Poet.
Yeah.
He does
I
tell
put
some
his
really good stories.
yeah, I put his link in the chat. So if you guys don't have him, check him out.
Yeah, check
And
out his channel.
yeah, oh yeah, if Andrew, if you write it down here, I'll screenshot it and I'll tell it. All right, let's get to
Okay, let's get to the
this
next.
one.
Of our channel members, Benny Loco. When Benny was younger, she lived in a town called Pines Barren, New Jersey. There were woods on the edge of her town that had an abandoned community hidden within it. All of the neighborhood kids used to go and check out around the old buildings. Some would go inside of them, but most wouldn't. They were afraid, and with good reason. Benny and her friend Robin went into the woods one day to check out the site for themselves. The two friends were going in and out of the abandoned buildings, looking at all the stuff that was left behind. As they were looking around, they could hear the background sounds of birds and nature all around them. Things were fine until they weren't. In a blink of an eye, all the sound around them was gone. And not just quiet, but silent. There was nothing. Not even the wind was making a sound. The girls turned to each other with confused looks on their faces, thinking, why did everything just stop? Benny thought to herself how weird and eerie it was, so they decided to step outside the house. Once the two friends took their first steps onto the earth out of the house, the wind began to blow. They turned to each other and without a word, both began to run down the path as if they were being chased. They continued to run down the path and then they started to hear someone running behind them. The footsteps were heavy and pounding hard behind them. Neither friend could bring themselves to turn around. They just kept running. It seemed like it took forever to get back to the blacktop. Once they hit it, though, they kept running. Benny recalls the sheer terror that she felt, and she never stepped a foot into the woods or saw the abandoned community ever again. She will never forget what happened that day. Our next story, Dad, Was That You?, comes from one of our channel members, Mary, from Luna Eclipse Paranormal. Mary's family lived on a farm in Indiana when she was a teenager. It was a clear May day when Mary's father had passed away suddenly in the house from natural causes. Before his passing, the house was quiet. It lay dormant. But in October of that year that Mary's father passed, that would all change. In October is when Brenda, Mary's cousin, who was 17, came from California to stay with Mary and her family. October in Indiana could still be warm, so the family would put on fans and close and lock the windows every evening. Mary's family farm sat on a gravel road in a rural part of Indiana. There were only two houses on that long stretch of gravel road. Mary's farmhouse, and about a half-mile down was the neighbor's. Her neighbor raised champion Dalmatian dogs, which were worth a lot of money back then. Across the road from the neighbor's house was an old cemetery that dated back to the 1600s. The cemetery sat on about 2 acres of land, so relatively small. The first day Brenda was visiting that October, the girls went out and returned home around 10:30 p.m. The girls decided to read a little in Mary's room before going to bed. To get to Mary's bedroom, you could either go through the walk-in closet off the living room or go through her mom's room. There was a door in Mary's room that led to the outside and a window next to it, which Mary's bed was set up against. Mary's bed wore one of those heavy metal twin beds that you couldn't move very easily on your own. The girls read a little and Mary decided she was tired and wanted to go to bed. Her cousin Brenda then left to go to Mary's mom's room where she was staying during her visit. Mary turned off her bedroom lights, jumped into bed, and closed her eyes. About 15 minutes later, before Mary could even get into a really deep sleep, Mary suddenly snapped awake, startled by a dream she was supposedly having about someone trying to grab her through the window of her bedroom. Mary looked around and decided she must have been dreaming and closed her eyes again, trying to fall back asleep. But only seconds later, she started to hear noises. Thinking it was just her cousin going to the bathroom, Mary didn't even open her eyes. But just then, something grabbed onto both of Mary's ankles and jerked Mary down to the bottom of the bed. Mary flew up out of her bed and flipped on the light switch. Looking around the room, she realized that the bed was actually moved about 2 feet from the wall. That movement of the bed actually left scratch marks on the floor. Mary knew it couldn't have been her cousin or anyone in the house that could have moved that heavy bed with her on it like that. Mary stumbled into her mother's room, startling Brenda, who asked her what was wrong. When Mary had explained what had happened, Brenda said, "Oh, I heard footsteps just a few moments ago." Mary came to the realization that someone must have broken into the house. Mary grabbed for the family's hunting rifle. The girls went around checking the doors to make sure they were locked. When they got to the front door, Mary realized the family's German Shepherd was out on the porch, so she let him in real quick and closed the door. They continued to search the house with the dog all the way to the attic. When they couldn't find anything that seemed out of place or anyone, the girls decided to wake up Mary's mom. After her mom heard the girls' stories, she turned on the light and looked down at Mary's ankles, shocked at the bruises on her ankles that looked like thumbprints. Mary's mom was perplexed. How could someone do that and vanish into thin air? The family decided to stay together and awake. The family had been on the couch for a long while. There was no other noises or incidents. Now that it was around 4:30 a.m., the mother told the girls to go to sleep in her room. No sooner did the girls step off the couch, it started vibrating. Thinking that it was her son, the mother yelled out to stop. The son, who is now startled by the vibrating couch, says, "I'm not doing anything." The couch started to shake harder and then just stopped. The girls jumped back on the couch and stayed together with the family until about 5:15 or so, when they decided to go into their mom's bedroom and go to sleep. The new fan was on by the bedside, and after a few minutes of the girls being in the room, the fan just stopped. No slowing down, just stopped, as if someone hit the off button. Before Mary could even process what was going on with the fan, it started up again at full speed, and then got faster and faster until it just stopped again. Mary jumped off the bed and turned it off. Just a few minutes later, the fan turns on again, and then the bed starts vibrating. Mary's mom hears this commotion and decides it's enough. They grab some food and clothes and decide to head into town to her mom's sister's house. The mother sends someone out to go check the house. They find nothing. He checked the electric, everything was fine. He checked the fan, he couldn't find anything wrong with it, but he took it into town to get it looked at, thinking it must be faulty. Since there was nothing visibly wrong, they went back to the house later that night and found a small glass of milk just sitting on the kitchen table that no one had put there. Mary's father used to drink a glass of milk in the middle of the night. The phone rings, startling everyone, and Mary's mom answers it. It was the neighbors, telling Mary's mom that they were robbed at gunpoint last night and their prized dogs were stolen, along with everything in their safe and even some guns. Mary and the rest of the family now believe it was her father trying to keep the family safe and awake so that they wouldn't be the ones that were robbed. It's been over 40 years now, and Mary will never forget the details of that night. They are forever etched in her memory. The road ahead comes from our
That
longtime
was a good one
subscriber
too,
and
right?
member, Kim Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Wow, that was an experience that Mary had.
Yeah.
By the
And
way,
poor Mary, guys, she's still she ended up back in the hospital
I was,
with
I was just gonna ask.
infections and some other stuff. She had a few surgeries. Really, it was bad. Right now, she's doing a little better, but we're gonna see how it goes. So, if you could still keep those prayers going for her, I would greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask how is she doing, and then you said
Yeah.
that. Wow. I'm hoping we're gonna always keep praying for her because prayer does work. Believe
Yep.
me, it does work.
Family safe and awake so that they wouldn't be the ones that were robbed. It's been over 40 years now, and Mary will never forget the details of that night. They are forever etched in her memory. The road ahead comes from our longtime subscriber and member, Kim Fitzgerald. As a young girl, Kim doesn't remember experiencing any paranormal, but that all changed one day on a drive when she was 18. Kim had just spent a wonderful day visiting her parents. At around 9 p.m., she decided to get on the road and drive home. Kim hopped in her car, turned on the ignition, and started out. This is a road that Kim has traveled many times before to visit her parents. However, she remembers it being particularly dark and particularly quiet this night. Thus far, Kim's drive was uneventful, and then she got to a very familiar spot ahead of her. There was two small crossings that went into one lane. These were typical crossings in Australia that Kim has passed many times before. However, that was going to change with this one. As she got closer, she seen a big image of a skull right in front of her. Kim, now terrified, swerved right off the road and pulled over. Kim figured she was tired and maybe hallucinating. Kim just sat there, gripping the steering wheel, trying to shake off what she thought she saw. Kim hadn't even pulled over to the side for more than 30 seconds when she heard a rumbling sound, and a very large truck came rounding the corner, never stopped, straight past her. If Kim hadn't pulled over to the side of the road and would have kept driving, that truck would have hit her and she might have not been here today. As the truck barreled out of sight, Kim's fear turned to gratitude. She believes it was a warning to stop, and she feels very blessed to this day. Kim will never forget the image of her savior she saw that night. Our next story, The Country House, comes from our longtime subscriber and sister, Kim M. It was the summer of 1980, and Kim had just turned 11. Kim's aunt and uncle took their son, Kim, and her two younger brothers to visit their grandparents in Kentucky. On the drive back, they stopped at the aunt and uncle's house, the house that once belonged to her grandparents before they moved to Kentucky. Because it was late when they arrived, the aunt and uncle decided that Kim and her siblings should stay the night. The children went inside, and the aunt and uncle started unpacking the car and bringing the stuff into the house. While this was going on, a bat got into the house through the open door. Her uncle, petrified of bats, grabbed the boys and hid under the table with them. Kim and her aunt caught the bat and got it out of the house. After everything was said and done and the family was settling in for the night, they heard a knock at the door. Her aunt was perplexed. Who would be at the door at this time of night? Her aunt opened the door to no one. Her aunt looked around, confused. When she decided no one was there, she closed the door. This pattern continued, happening a second and third time, with each time the knock becoming louder and louder. Even though after these events the family was unsettled, they started getting ready for bed. This was an old farmhouse, so you came in through the kitchen, The bedroom was off to the side of the kitchen. From there was a dining room and a bedroom. Then you would go into the living room, and the stairs would go up to the second floor, but no one ever went up there. In the dining room, there was always Christmas candles flickering, used as light to see the bathroom. There was no other lights on in the house. Then the family went to bed. Just a little while later, they all woke up to the sound of her uncle yelling at the boys, thinking they were jumping on the bed. However, the boys were in their own bed, and the uncle soon realized that his bed was vibrating on its own. Even though unsettled by these events, the family managed to fall back asleep. Kim woke up just a little while later to use the bathroom, but she stopped dead in her tracks. She knew all the lights in the house were turned off before the family went to bed. Yet, to Kim's horror, all the lights in the kitchen and the bathroom were on. As Kim stood frozen, her aunt looked up and asked what was wrong. All Kim could manage to do was point. Her aunt's gaze followed Kim's pointing finger to the kitchen, where at the table sat a tall man in his underwear and a white undershirt reading the newspaper. Kim saw the horror in her aunt's eyes and decided to jump into the bed and under the covers. Her aunt continued to stare into the kitchen in horror until tiredness overcame her and she fell asleep. The next morning, when the family woke up, everything in the house was just how they left it the night before. 45 years later, and Kim still cowers under her covers as if she was still 11 every time she thinks of the man in the kitchen who came to visit her family's country house that summer. Today's read.
I was
Yeah.
reading tired. Tired said, "How rude."
Yes. How rude coming in your underwear, really? I'm assuming maybe that guy lived there before, but even that one with Kim on the other Kim on the road, we got a lot of Kims who are subscribers.
You know what?
Um
That even sound nasty. Coming in your underwear.
coming in your underwear. True story. But like seeing a skeleton in the road, like, and then pulling over because you're like, what the hell is going on? And then, you know, avoiding an accident. Like, wow. Like those
Yeah.
were good stories too. Um, and some people say, well, that's not paranormal. Maybe it was your instincts or something. But I think it was her spirit guide or something, maybe.
Hey, paranormal poet. Like I always say, two's company, three's an adult movie.
Yeah.
I'll go to the next one.
Real paranormal experience, the magic portal, comes from subscriber and friend Tired Kamara. Kamara and her family lived in a quaint little home in Bellevue, Florida. Chimera was 9 at the time, and her sister were in the kitchen making some ramen noodles. Their father was in the living room, deep in thought. Chimera looked over at her father and said, "What you thinking about, Dad?" Without moving his head or gesturing, he just said, "I really think I need a notebook. I should buy some." Her father sat there thinking about the notepads so hard the whole time that Chimera and her sister were making noodles in the kitchen. Chimera's father was no stranger to the paranormal. It happened around him a lot. It was like he was in a trance and he just sat there thinking, "Gosh, I really wish I had some notebooks." Chimera was trying not to burn the noodles when she heard what sounded like fluttering pages and books falling to the floor. Chimera spun her head around to see what looked like a black hole or some kind of portal that was dumping tons of different notepads down onto her father's lap. Chimera's sister thought that the father just threw the notepads up in the air and they were falling back down on him as a joke. Chimera could not believe what she was seeing. By the time her sister turned around, she just saw books falling. The portal was already gone. Their dad turned around to the girls and said, "Did you see that?" Chimera shook her head yes. Later that evening, Tamara's dad pulled her over to the side so they can converse about what happened. Her dad said he was so deep in thought, wishing so hard that he had some notebooks to write everything down. Tamara explained what she saw, which was a black hole hovering over her father's head that was as big as his chair, and it was spitting out the last notebook at him. Not fully understanding at age 9, Chimera came up with a theory that if you wish and dream hard enough, if the black hole has it, it will poop it out for you.
The shoeless
You can pause it there.
comes
That
from
was Tired Story in the chat.
Ain't that some shit?
Yeah. But that goes to show you the power of mind over matter and thought and all that kind of stuff.
Right, because if you don't mind, it won't matter.
Yes, that's right.
That was a good story, though. That was a good story.
These guys, these are all your stories. They were all fabulous. And yeah, we have a few more. But yeah, I'm hoping you guys are enjoying this.
Yeah, I'm you guys are enjoying this too. I really am.
Yeah, these, you know, I know a lot of people probably ask you guys, "Oh, give us an experience," and then just say it. You know, you hear it that one time. But these are like, I went and I made stories. I tried to get pictures that match them or make pictures to match, so you can have a whole little video of your experience. So I hope that. Babia, how are you, sweetheart?
Tired says she has another one about playing hide and seek with her sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah, message me later. Yes.
Hello, Babia. So glad that you came in.
Glad to see you, Babia.
Oh,
the shoeless ghost.
See, her name sounds like a song.
Yes.
Oh, Babia, we could make it together. Oh, wait a minute. That song was actually taken. Tony Orlando, Candida. But never mind. I'm not here. I'm not paid to sing.
and is told by Diane from the 21st Century Suffragettes.
It's short. It's not that long. Okay. So I'm in my first apartment in college in Chicago, and it's a 4th floor walk up. It's super old. The fucking building is just super old. It's brick. It's cold. When the wind blows, my shades would move. You know what I mean? It was like one of those buildings. Okay. So, 4th floor walk up. My girlfriend, who, I also grew up, she was a family friend, and she was in London doing cartoon screens, literally painting the cartoon screens, like the vellums. Do you know what I mean? When they painted the vellums and then they would change each color. Yeah, she was doing that, and I forget for who. It was some famous person in London. She was coming back to the States, and her flight stopped in Chicago for a layover. And so she visited me in college. And I said, well, you have to come and we have to hang out because I just love and adore you. She comes to visit. We are in my apartment and we're just shooting the shit. And she's telling me all about her London escapades and stuff. And I've been telling her what's going on here and this, that, and the other thing. And it was daylight. It was daylight out. Freaks me out even more. The way my apartment was set up, it was like my bedroom was over here and the front door was right here, and then there was a long hallway, and off the hallway a kitchen would be there, and then there would be a living room, and then at the other end of the hallway it was my roommate's bedroom and her bathroom. Okay, so it was just a long, narrow apartment in this building. And so we're talking. And she goes, Diane, I don't want to scare you, but I want you to look up and look down the hallway and tell me if you see what I see. I turned, I looked down the hallway, and I'm like, there's a fucking ghost down my hallway. I shit you not. Now, I felt like it was a very kind of short man, like overcoat, hat, like the old school days, like in the 20s, old school dress. No legs, just standing, floating there. Okay. And of course I freaked out because this is the first time I think I've ever seen a ghost in my life. And I would swear on anything you give me that I saw a ghost. This isn't a fake. This isn't bullshit. This is fucking true. The Chicago fires in the late 1800s, and that a lot of people perished then. And okay, so anyway, I said, I have to leave. I have to leave the apartment. I'm freaked out. So we leave. We go to a bar. It's actually a pool hall kind of place where they have burgers and stuff. And we get some food and we start playing pool, and we're trying to just kind of evade the subject. And then it's the same day that Stevie Ray Vaughan died in a helicopter crash on his way from Wisconsin to Chicago to do a concert. So everybody was freaked out now. The bar owner shut the doors. Everyone drinks for free. Everything's on the house, and we're playing nothing but Stevie Ray Vaughan for the rest of the night. The owner had tickets to Stevie Ray Vaughan the next night. Fucking awful. And we just listened to Stevie Ray Vaughan and drank beer all night, and then it was time to go home, and I was kind of scared. And it was funny because we're walking back to the apartment, and I go, it's weird because ever since I moved here, I always felt like somebody's following me. And I'm like, I thought maybe it was me being paranoid, moving to a big city by myself, and I don't really know anybody, I don't have many friends, and you know what I mean? I thought maybe it was just like me being paranoid. On the way back, she goes, you don't by any chance have a Ouija board, do you? Oh, shit. Yes, I do. In fact, it's my mother's from when she was in college. And so the box is all tattered. I said, yes. In fact, I do have a Ouija board. My mom gave it to me before I left. It's one of those things you do in college. I don't know. So we brought it out. And she's like, now she's telling me, she's giving me directions. You have to ask the questions. They have to be yes or no. They have to be very direct and specific and da-da-da-da and whatever. And after 20 million beers and listening to Stevie Ray Vaughan all night, I was like, yeah, not so much. Not doing so well. But anyway, I did get out. The guy had my dad's initials. He died in the fires in the 1880s, and he was my guardian angel. And he was there to protect me, not that I should be feared, not that I should fear him or whatever. And I was just so floored. First of all, my dad's initials, that really kind of freaked me out. That's just kind of weird. And also, like a cow or something started the Chicago fires. Do you remember the story about the Chicago fires? Like a cow started the fires. I don't know. There was something about a cow. That's all I remember. So anyway, I felt so much better because I wasn't scared anymore. When I was really freaked out before, I wasn't freaked out anymore. Even though I did eventually move out of that place because it was like just too cold in the winter. Yeah, I had to get the hell out of that place.
Yes, that's all. That's everybody's stories that I have thus far.
Well, like I said, those, Mr. Gurley, really,
Yeah.
really good.
Let me know in the chat which one was your favorite story.
That was an interesting one, though, with Diane.
Yeah.
What did you guys think? What was your favorite story? Well, you just said that, so I figure I'd echo it.
Say it again. It's 20 seconds behind anyway, the chat, so My
favorite, there's actually three. The one with Tired,
Yeah.
The one with Danny, because that one
Yeah.
surprised me, and the one with Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Those three, and then Diane will be number 4. So those 4 right there, those are some awesome stories.
Yeah.
Jen is right here, so if anybody's wondering, Jen's been making dinner, so that's why you have.
Woo! What was she making? Something delicious, I'm sure.
Yep, burgers and fries.
Oh, there you go.
Yep, quick and easy.
Mm-hmm.
Daughter went out with her friend. They went to Barnes and Noble, so they're going to buy books. So
Fun.
yes, what fun! I'm
Mhm.
trying to think, when I was that young, was I in the books? No. Okay. I was in the music still, so but yeah,
You know,
some good
the
story.
in school they would have us read books, and so I used to always have one because we had to do book reports or whatever.
Mhm,
So I always had a book or two, but I remember like really after reading The Flowers in the Attic, I was
mhm.
so taken aback that I was like, I don't want to read these shitty stories anymore. I'm like, I'd rather write stories that are nice and not this shit. Okay.
Right,
So yeah, I was kind of annoyed that the teacher had, you know, gave us that to read anyway. Put it on our story list because was not happy about that book. Um, my favorite book I think that I ever read though was The Scarlet Letter.
mhm,
And I don't know why, more because like of the witchcraft aspect and all the other stuff that went along with it, maybe. And then the To Kill a Mockingbird. That was only 2 books I really ever liked and I would read again.
right,
Um, other than that, yeah, I could just make it in movie form and I'll listen to
right,
it in movie form.
right. No,
Make the book into a movie and I'll watch it.
Jen had a paranormal experience years ago. Remember when we lived on Cole Avenue? No, actually, you had one over on when we lived on Krause. When you saw the man with the hat.
I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of us. It was like
Actually, we had more than one paranormal story that actually happened. As a matter of fact, the one we lived on Cole Avenue, uh, we lived directly behind the cemetery. Directly, and I mean the headstone was right at our fence. A lot of the headstones right on our fence, and we had some really crazy stuff happen in that house. Like, and when you're downstairs, and we're downstairs watching TV back when we had the floor model TV, you would hear doors opening and closing upstairs. You would hear people walking, people talking, especially down in the basement. And it was just crazy. And we had people knocking on our door, especially at night, knocking on our front door and then knocking on our back door. I think the back door was the one that scared us the most.
that was the popular one.
Yeah. I mean, we could tell you some stories. Yeah, and this is when we first got into doing the paranormal together. And so it was really right up our alley in a sense.
Yeah, right. Well,
And-
paranormal's nice if you're not dealing with it all the time in your house.
Right. But we don't think that it was there to try to intentionally scare us, but they wanted to let us know that they were there.
Back then, around that time is when I shut myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I closed myself out from.
Right. She blocked. Right. She was blocking herself out.
I think they were trying to get my attention, and I was. You know what I'm saying? I was too somewhere else.
Too short. No.
Thank you, paranormal poet.
I dropped the live stream a like for you. Yeah, we really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we will return the favor and we'll drop you a like.
Hey, Eli, you missed all the good stuff. You're late.
Eli, you're always coming in at the end. You kind of like, going to the toilet at the last minute. And and some people, the first thing that comes out is a pee. But some people, first thing that comes out is the poop, then the pee.
Yeah. Eli's one of those people who go to the movie theater and it's like, no, I don't want anything. And then as soon as the credits are done and the movie's about to start, they're like, nah, I decided I want popcorn
Yeah.
and leaves to go get popcorn. You know?
Right when the movie is over.
Yeah.
I'm the
When
type of person. If I go to
SFL has a story for you.
oh,
When I was a kid, we were waiting for our new home to be built. So we sold the other home and rented a place above a funeral home. We caught we got caught looking in the basement window. What did
ooh,
you catch looking in the basement? What? There's something missing there, SFL.
yeah, you got caught looking in the basement. What was they doing in that basement that you weren't supposed to see?
Were they embalming them? Oh no.
Annie Sizemore said, was the living room underground or built into the hillside like a tri-level house next to a cemetery? No, believe it or not, the house is crazy because where we lived at the bottom of a hill, and there was a busy street, it was Main Street. Then Firestone Plant is directly across the street. And so the cemetery is directly behind our house. Huge cemetery directly behind our house. And so it's hard to, I'm gonna have to show pictures. If I find pictures, I'll show you what it looked like. The house was huge. And what's crazy is what was it? What was it? A 6-bedroom house? We had a 6-bedroom house. We was only paying $800 a month. Make that $975. 670. Oh, it was 675. And that's because every time people move in, they move right back out.
Yeah. Danny says there are no ghosts at my house. I've been here 750 years and I never saw one.
Would that be Danny then?
Oh, so they were looking in the basement window. Someone tapped me on the head and no one was there. They were putting makeup on a deceased body.
Oh,
So while they were looking in the window, um, and they were making up this person, someone tapped her on the head, but no one was there. Holy cow, that's a good one. I want to tell that one.
yeah, that is a good one. So yeah, I'll try. Me and Jen, I'll have Jen tell you one of her short stories because we actually got a lot of them. But I'll let Jen tell you, and then that way you can use it for Sinister Sunday.
Yes.
You know, because we had some crazy ones, especially the house that we lived in this street called Kraus. And when we first moved in, the first hint that there was something wrong with the house was when we seen thousands of flies that was attracted to one window.
Mm.
And we could not figure that out for nothing in the world. What was going on with these flies? That's the house I believe that she's seen the tall man with the hat. Her and her best friend seen it. And it was crazy because they both seen it at separate times, but the same day.
Oh, yeah, that is nuts.
Yeah.
That was like he was like walking around and like,
Yeah.
let's see who I could scare today. I'm gonna show myself to this one and that one.
Yeah, and so they had to validate it from each other what they saw.
Yeah.
That's how they knew they both seen the same thing. Oh, give me 1 second. I gotta turn my wife's alarm off.
Yeah. That's like one day, guys, my son and Danny and we went to the place where they based the Stranger Things series off of.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was called Camp Hero. And Danny went ahead of us, and my son and I were dilly-dallying, like we do. And we had just finished filming in one place, so I turned my camera off. So silly. I should never turn my camera off, but you know, I have a phone, so you can only hold so much, right? So When you're
Right.
just walking, doing nothing, you usually are not filming. So I turn the camera off, and out of the corner of my eye, I see something. So I go to turn and look, and my son at the same time stopped dead in his track and goes, "Did you see the soldier?" And I'm like, "Was that blob thing that just ducked into the bushes?" Because I just saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I turned, but he was looking in that. You're like, he was looking there, and I was kind of looking forward. And I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I turned, and it had ducked behind the bush, and it just looked like a black kind of shadow. But my son saw it. He's like, it had this kind of hat on, and he was a soldier, but not. The hat was an old kind of hat, probably
Mhm.
like World War I kind of hat. So it wasn't a recent war, like or he's not a recent soldier.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, that was interesting. So we both, like I said, I didn't see the features. I just saw a black thing dart, a black shadow dart into the bush, but he saw the whole thing. He was like, "Holy cow!" So yeah, and he was like kind of taken aback because he's like, "Damn, I haven't seen one in a long time." And this is how people who see paranormal, like, this is, like, "Oh, I haven't seen one in a long time. That was strange," like, okay. Um,
Wow. Anybody else got a story they'd like to share live?
yes.
Post it up here and talk to us instead of us having this dead air.
Dead air. Well, I tried to tell a story. I mean, I have tons, but
Yeah, because
um,
we got tons, but I want to tell.
oh yeah, Tired. I'm gonna send Tired the link, and she can come up and chitty chat.
Yeah, she sure can.
She can come up and tell her other story that she was gonna tell me.
Good idea.
So let me share the link. Forward to.
Paranormal Poet said, "I don't like dead air." It's the
Okay.
sound.
I sent you the link.
It's the sound of silence.
Yeah.
But these are some really good stories this week. They really were. You did a good job stitching them together. Do you guys
Yeah.
react to other paranormal YouTubers' videos on live? Yes, I do. Every now and then.
Eddie does that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Eddie does that. I figure a lot of people do that. I don't personally, because I feel like there's so many interesting stories to be told, like
Right.
that nobody has seen. And just because you can't get it on camera doesn't mean that these stories aren't,
Right. Doesn't mean it's not
just
real.
as much evidence to me as, because we don't even know if that stuff is real that's caught. But when somebody I know for 12 years tells me a story, I'm like, "Oh yeah, that happened," because I believe it,
Right.
because there's no reason for most people to say that. But yeah, but Eddie does that on his live sometimes, and it
Yes.
is fun,
Yeah, because I like to
I sent you a link of the ones where the crazy things that they caught on the cops' camera. Those that would be interesting. I
Yeah.
sent you the link to your messenger, thinking like, because the cops are not going to make that up off their body cams, so
Oh, did you see that?
Hi, Tired.
Howdy.
How you doing, Tired?
I could complain, but who give a damn? It's just too late in the day.
Yeah, I was telling Paranormal Poet, yeah, I basically like to do real or fake paranormal videos. And because I and my wife, we're always debating if it's real and if it's fake, And I might see something I think is real, and then my wife would debate it and say, "No, it's not," And So yeah, we do that, and then we really haven't watched other YouTubers, and if we do, I like to get permission from them to watch their videos. Just out of respect to them, but it's also letting them know, hey, we're checking out your video and giving you some watch time. You know, but I like doing them as a real or fake, because this way we can see what's true and what's legit, what's not. Let's all take a
Yeah.
look.
Hi, Skinner, by the way.
Hello, Skinner.
Howdy, howdy.
All right, now we have Tired with us, and Tired is going to tell us that your other paranormal story.
Okay, so this paranormal story takes place once again. Of course, everything in my life happens in Florida that's detrimental to my psyche. Anyways, so when I had just gotten down to Florida between the ages of 5 and 6, I moved into this mobile home trailer park right next to a couple of schools. And one day, me and my sister, my older sister, I do not claim her as a sister. We're not going to get into that. Anyways, I was playing hide and seek with her. And my parents had a trundle bed and a day bed combo. So, they had that pull out trundle bed and then there's that big open space underneath it. Well, I hid underneath there, but I hid so far back that I was against the wall. She came into the room 3 times looking for me and then ran back out. And by the 3rd time that she had come in there, I was passed out dead asleep. I woke up in the middle of the night just to climb back on top of the bed and go right back to sleep. The next morning, my father woke my ass up and was all, where the hell were you yesterday? What the hell happened? Why were you gone for so many hours? I had to explain to my father in a panic that I was hiding underneath the bed for all that time, and she was just too damn stupid to find me. And then from my father, I hear, she looked under the bed 5 times. You were not there. And I'm like, how could I have moved when that's where I fell asleep at?
Yeah.
So we have no explanation for that.
So how long have you been in Florida?
What?
I'm sorry, what?
How long you been in Florida?
Well, I was born in Massachusetts, went down to Florida in 94 and left there in I think 21.
Oh, so
no. I was 21 when I left there. So I would have put it at 2011 or something like that.
Okay, so you don't live in Florida no more.
No.
Oh, okay. Because Florida has a lot of crazy stuff that go on down there.
I used to live in El Paso, Texas for a while.
Really? Why'd you move? The heat?
Oh, hell no. I got a divorce.
Oh, that's good enough reason.
Yeah. Get away from that guy.
Yeah, my first husband, me and him did not work out, military man, and things just went south. And El Paso, Texas is fun for a little bit, but then when you get certain people who know who you are in that area, they become very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes
what I wanted to ask her was, because I heard this other story too of this somebody on the internet told their story, because I like to listen to those kind of stories too. So he had got up, it was like 12 in the afternoon. He walked by his mother, went downstairs, and started playing video games. Not paying no never mind, And all of a sudden he looks at the time and it's late. It's like, I don't know, 7 o'clock or something. So from 12 in the afternoon to 7, he was sitting in the basement playing video games. Goes up to his mother. It's like, wow, you didn't even call me for dinner. And she was already frantic. And she's like, where the hell were you? And he's like, what are you talking about? I was sitting in the basement playing video games. She goes, you were not. I went down there 8 times. I looked all over for you. I didn't know where you were. I was panicking. I was about to call the police. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was in I was sitting playing video games the whole time.
That's exactly how it
So
felt for me when I was trying to tell my father that I was underneath the bed the entire time. Hi, Babia. Yes, it's me, Tired's Collective Misfits. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. So yeah, what do you think that is? Some kind of like I
If
don't
I
know.
was if I was going to express my actual thoughts on what I think it is, it's a multi-layered protective barrier. I would have to say at some point their nervous system felt like they were not in a safe place, and at that point their spirit guardians got together and said, oh, well, this ain't gonna happen today. And so either it's that kind of a invisible spiritual barrier that blocks others who have intent to harm of seeing you, or an interdimensional portal of some kind that takes you
Yeah,
out of where
like
you're
you
at.
stepped on a timeline and you're in someplace else, and you just step back
Yep.
on the timeline when you move, and then you're back to where you're supposed to be.
Yep, it could be as simple as that. I mean, it all depends on how deep into string theory, theoretical theories, and other kind of shit you want to delve into just to think about it.
Yeah, like what I'm really curious about is there moving timelines, you know? Like
Well, I mean, we're always
we
moving
know that their
forward.
ley lines are usually are where they are and that's it. But wondering if like if the timelines are moving and by accidentally you step on one. But how long are they there? You know, all these things are so interesting to me because like what if you step on one and you can't get back and you're stuck somewhere, you know?
I will
Um,
help you with the best way to figure out timelines ever. Watch the Loki MC Marvel series. That'll explain the whole Tree of Life timelines and so on and so forth situation for you. Um, Basically what it'll explain is like there could be an incursion in one timeline where something bad happens. So if you accidentally or have decided to change your way of thinking, that's a shift in the timeline, which could be your saving grace against an incursion, or so on and so forth. But I would recommend looking into Marvel comic series Loki and watching that to get a roundabout basis on timeline ideas.
yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I've read a lot about them, but you know, people most of the time just end up somewhere else by accident, and then they're like praying that they can get the hell back, or you know, and sometimes it's only seconds where they're walking, and it's like not exactly that they're in another timeline, but it's like overlapping, so they can see
Okay,
their
well,
time and
who's
a time earlier, and they're like, why are these people dressed up like so? Yeah, things like that happen too.
well, then think about it this way. We are but one Earth on a gridded map scale of a multitude of Earths in a parallel universe. So, who's to say that our world didn't shift into a parallel world at that point in time because it was at a cross point, and then when it continued moving forward, we unseparated and got whatever was left behind in the pass through of the incursion. So, I mean, there's so many fucking ways that we could go about this, think about it, or, speculate and so much. And Babia, yes, my dear, I know I could. I very well could. But the problem is I need sponsors, and there's no one looking for a sponsor right now.
Well, I could be a voiceover too, kind of like Patrick.
Wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait, oh, wait.
I'll leave the voiceovers to them too. And one day I'm gonna be a comedian if I could stop myself long enough for laughing at myself. I'm telling the joke and then not get the joke out because I'm too hysterical.
Wake up, that.
What did you Miss Spinska?
Well, I never.
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Open up the sleeve, presto.
Oh shit! We need to stop this. We're getting off of topic with voice acting. We need to get back onto the paranormals.
Way
The
off.
only time I was able to do some kind of voice that was not mine is when I used to work at a union and we had that intercoms, and every time I would, page somebody, they'd be like, why is Mickey Mouse on the pager? Minnie Mouse, that's what they would say. Hey, Minnie Mouse is on the pager. I'm like, so for some reason the PA system made me sound like Minnie Mouse, but it was just me.
That's what I call my wife half the time.
All I'm thinking is South Park versions of Mickey Mouse, and I can't say it right now. I can't. I really can't.
A.L. Skinner said, all that made me think about is Eddie dressed up as Santa Claus with a sack of toys. That's when kids be going,
Mommy, you said Santa Claus was white.
I tell you what, if you see a man coming down your chimney, he ain't bringing you no toys. Instead, he's taking them.
He's the Grinch. The Grinch is not really green. He's
No. I'm sorry,
Eddie.
but if there is a man climbing down your chimney, he ain't here to give you presents, or he ain't here to steal your presents. He ain't here to get the gift of an ass whooping with a metal baseball bat.
That's right.
Yep.
I'll just have
Suzanne,
to
you missed the lovely. We had a whole. We're already on almost 2 hours. We had a whole thing of paranormal stories from subscribers, and they were so good. We had Benny's story and Diane's story and all sorts of people's stories. So yeah,
and they were really good. So if anybody missed anything, please do us a favor and rewatch.
You can rewatch, and I think because I'm a little behind because I had the march on Saturday. I went to the No Kings March, and then Tuesday I spent. First of all, then I couldn't do anything on Sunday because man, my back was out after that march. So Sunday I was basically recovering. Monday I had some stuff to do, and then Tuesday I spent the whole day at the DMV. Yesterday I spent the whole day doing laundry, so I'm a little behind in videos. So I think what I'll do is I'll replay everybody's paranormal stories, especially for people who don't come to live streams. I'll put that whole video up for Sinister Sunday, and then we'll start fresh with new kinds of Sinister Sundays the week after.
Sounds good to me.
All I do is work on Suno, so.
Hey, it ain't nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, now this Sunday, I'm thinking about doing another real or fake paranormal videos, but afterwards, I want people that's got Suno to showcase what y'all made. As a matter of fact, I may just do the whole video of that. If you have, as a matter of fact, that's what I'll do. Showcase your Suno. Showcase your talent, showcase your music, and let you play your music Sunday.
Oh, Eddie, you gonna give me a safe place to grow an ego? That's dangerous.
No, that's okay.
Now, do you only do the Suno apps? Or what about my app?
Yeah, yours too. Bring yours. Come on, Cletus.
Come on, Cletus. Hercules.
Yeah, bring yours. Anybody, if you have Suno, bring your music, and we will showcase your talent.
Yeah.
Or other music. If you make any kind of music, bring it on by, and we will showcase your talent.
Yeah, because
I think
just because I use Marika, is that what you call it? I don't know. It's on this one. But it's probably Marika is what you call it.
Yeah,
and
bring your music.
So, like I said, I had already paid for it before you guys started talking about all this. So, and because I paid for it for the year, I'm using it. So that's what we use it.
Yeah, and hello to Suzanne. Hello, ma'am. So good to see you, even though I can't physically see you. It's so good to see you in the chat. But
Yes.
anyway, if you guys got any kind of music, Sunday's gonna be a great time to come up. And I might do this every other Sunday where we just bring good music together and we'll sit back and listen to what you got. Wait a minute,
Ooh,
as a matter of fact, this Sunday is
SFL has another story. I enjoyed the story, Christina. Your narration voice is so soothing. Oh, thank you. I tried really hard. You should see my takes on that. Because this crazy accent. I try to make it soothing, and then sometimes I'll play it back and I'll freaking fall asleep and I'll be like, damn, I don't know if I want to play this because everybody's gonna be falling asleep instead of watching my video. No.
you know what? Jen just reminded me, Sunday is Easter.
Oh, you
Oh,
better do it Saturday morning.
I may do it Monday.
Oh my.
Monday would probably work better for you, but remember Easter Monday, so don't know
Hmm.
if they do anything.
Yeah, just don't eat a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs.
Ain't got no problems on
Thank
that.
God this is not smell-o-vision. SFL has another story. She said, one night we were playing hide and seek. My brother and I had this bright light come down and took off back into the sky. We ran home and told our mom, and the next day she showed us an article that, and she's writing the rest of it, so give her a second.
That defied logic.
More than likely. More than likely.
I'm trying to fill
No,
in the gap.
she showed us an article that people in Germany all seen the bright light. No one ever found out what it was. Wow.
Wow.
No, I did not trim my hair. It's actually quite long. I just styled it a little because, like I said, I blew it out because on Tuesday I was going to the DMV, so I figured I'd make my hair a blowout.
Wouldn't the blowout be like an afro?
No, that's teasing.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, in the 80s, I used to tease my hair up, and that made it look afro-y.
Yeah, because see, in the 80s, I used to have a Jerry curl, so I know what you mean.
Yeah. My mother used to call my hairstyle the tumor because it was just like I used to tease it, and it used to be all to the side, like this big poof to the side, and my mother's like, "Oh, it's the tumor."
Matter of fact, if you look at my wedding pictures that I have up, that was the last time I had long hair. I had a long ponytail. I had long hair before that. I used to keep it in braids, and it's hard to believe I actually had hair. Believe me, it's hard for me. I miss my hair.
Oh, poor Eddie.
I missed it.
Poor Eddie.
Oh, it was seen as far as Germany. So where were you at the time, SFL?
Yeah, where were you at?
Oh, you're welcome, Petrazi. People don't understand how much Midol works for more than just period cramps. That shit goes for migraines too.
Don't believe me.
I'm glad your headache is better, Erica.
My doll will help you get your Z's. Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong commercial. It's Nidol.
Oh, baby.
Oh, goodness. Well, I'm going to dip out. My husband wanted me to go have a cigarette and needed me for something earlier while I was on the phone discussing my story and stuff. So it was a great pleasure
fine,
getting up
Reverend
here with
Potty
you
Mouth.
guys.
You have her all the time, and now you just want to steal her more?
Hey,
No, I'm
you know
kidding.
what? I'm just a missable person. Can't be in the other room. You gotta have me right next to him, all snuggled up and everything, and just no. I don't know what he wanted.
All right. Well, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for telling your story.
Not a problem. I appreciate you guys having me up. Y'all have a blessed rest of your evening. Peace, chat. Not here for a long time, just here for a good time. Bye.
Bye. And you know what? I think I'm a.
Oh, you were in New York at the time, SFL, where you saw those lights? Interesting. Funny enough, on one of my live streams, not last summer, the summer before, when I would always sit outside. Or it might have been last summer,
Yeah, it was last summer. You would
where
sit
there
out.
was like this blinking light, blinking light, blinking light, and you could see it on the screen on the live stream. And I kept showing you guys. I'm like, what the frick is this light? Like, we couldn't figure out where that light came from. It was just some weird blinking light, and it turned colors, and that's why I was like, is it a beacon of sorts? Like, we could not understand. And actually, a few people posted on YouTube that they saw the lights, and they were in Manhattan, and I'm in Queens, New York. This blinking light, and nobody knows what the frick that light is. And I kept saying, well, maybe it comes from a club or something that they're, but you would think somebody would know about it.
Right.
So I don't know.
Dang, I done got dark. Oh, let me fix my light. I am not that black,
My
believe
aunt who
me.
lived in Canada even heard about the super bright lights that moved so fast. Wow. And what year was this? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, good question. What year? The year of the cat. But you know what? I got to jump down too.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna eat dinner.
Yes,
And now,
go eat.
now my light wants to work all of a sudden. Like, what the hell? It's so old. I'm too cheap to go buy me a new one. That's okay. I'd rather provide for my family than myself.
That's right.
It's not
Thank
about me,
you.
it's about we.
Thank you so much for playing the video and joining us for another. And I got to think of what to do for next Thursday.
Oh, I always got your back. Always. You my sister from another mother. I always got you.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about yesterday, guys, but like I said, all this stuff that I did this week, my back was burning. And I'm still have tons of laundry. I got a little tiny apartment size washer because I just couldn't go to the wash, like dragging all that stuff. I couldn't do it with my back. So I got
Mm-hmm.
this little apartment washer, and it's semi-automatic, and it's so great. The only thing is it doesn't hold a lot. So it takes a long time to do a load of laundry. Like a long time. But that's okay because it will save you money and in the long run going to the laundromat, and I don't have to go anywhere, so it's good.
That's true. That's very true. Especially
Yeah.
if you don't like being around a lot of people and you go to a laundromat and you have to put your clothes. You don't know whose stuff was in that washer that's in there. And you have
Yeah.
to wash it out before you put your clothes in there. You might end up with somebody else's gum wrappers and gum in your clothes.
Yeah, true.
That's the chances you take at a laundromat.
Hmm.
I used to love taking Dessa and the kids, and every time when Dessa was when she was like 8 or 9 years old, and we'd be in there washing clothes, she'd be looking underneath all the dryers looking for quarters. And she'd be finding like $5, $6 worth of quarters.
Good
Smart
for her.
girl. Good
Yeah.
for her. But
All right, Eddie. We will see you Monday then for your live stream.
Yeah, I believe it's gonna be Monday. I might go live Sunday. Like I never, I always do it at the last minute. Just keep the notifications on. It's gonna be either Sunday or
Take
Monday.
care, Babia. All right, Sunday or Monday.
Yeah,
we will look for Eddie. They will go live at some time.
It will be around 1:00.
So at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and
Right.
1 p.m. What
Central.
is that? Central. Yeah.
Yep, 1 p.m. Central, which is 2 p.m. Eastern.
Eastern. Yeah.
So everybody, love you guys. And stay blessed. Thank you, Christina, for having me up.
Thank you, sweetheart. Look it up because it made major newspapers. I'm gonna have to look it up because I don't. I lived in New York my whole life, so I'm surprised that it wasn't something that I would have, heard of. So we'll have to look at that. But other than that, thank you guys so much for joining me. I love you guys. I'm gonna try to convince Danny to come go live with me Saturday night. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time we usually go. So hopefully he's feeling well and we will go. Paranormal Poet, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It was lovely having you here. Thank you to all the regulars and everyone who came in. We appreciate you guys. Look for Friday Night Scary Stories. Saturday will be the new song I played in the beginning with a video. And Sunday, I'll replay the stories. So if you want to see them again, you could see everybody's paranormal story. Maybe I can add one or two. So, of the stories you guys told me today. So, that'd be awesome. So, 5 months. Yay for Patrazi. And if you're interested in being a member, it's not that expensive. I think it's $1.99 a month, which really helps me because right now, waiting on disability that I still haven't got. And yeah, so YouTube's the only little bitsy money I make. So we'd love you to join us and be a member of the channel. And yeah, we'll see you Saturday. And if we don't see you, have a great Easter. If you don't come by Sunday, we hope you have a great, great Easter and stay safe. We'll see you soon.
Remember, please discard all candy wrappers and popcorn containers in the nearest trash receptacle. Thank you. We are so glad you came. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye-bye. Bye. Is everyone gone? Huh? Good. Oh my gosh, my cheeks are killing me. I can't keep smiling like this anymore. I'm exhausted.